Issues. Good evening. Good evening. This is Steve Walls alongside Darren Smith. We're live here, Levi Stadium, Santa Clara, California. The Chiefs have defeated the San Francisco 49ers in what seemed to be what you called a big game earlier today.
Well, I mean, it actually lived up to it.
Yeah.
The first half was a little shaky, got off shaky, but the second half turned out pretty much how we expected it to be. Patrick had a huge game offensively. He'll probably be player of the week based off of his stats. His numbers: 423 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, and interception. But I think, to me, the key of the game is going to be on the defense side of football. I mean, they got after Jimmy Garoppolo in today's game. I know Chris Jones had 2 sacks. Frank Clark had a sack and a half, and so it was a great all around game. And there were some shaky parts. Of course, we know about Sky Moore and his mishandling of the punt for another game, a second game this season. But overall, I'd give the Chiefs a B on today's win.
Now, looking at the offensive side of the ball, you mentioned Patrick Mahomes, one of the receivers of a few of those passes, and also a couple of handoffs. McCole Hardman, 3 touchdowns on the day. Talk about what you saw from him.
First of all, I told McCole, I said, man, what I could have made off you had I even had an inkling he was going to have a game like this today. We talked about it in the box earlier. I thought that McCole finally, and I think the fact that he's healthy, I think he's 100% healthy now, and I think he's finally able to relish that role that people expected of him in that Tyreek Hill manner. Yeah. And obviously, because you don't have Tyreek Hill, you still need that deep threat. I think not only him, but Marquez Valdes-Scantling found his footing today offensively and with the deep ball with Patrick Mahomes. So I think today was a day where all things in the second half, everything started clicking. And this, not even what we saw in Arizona, but I think this was the Chiefs team that we talked about in the preseason leading up to the regular season. I think this is the team that we thought that this team could be.
Now, on the defensive side of the ball, it seems like we talked about our X factors. Do you remember your X factors from earlier today?
Yes. Now, my X factor was on the offensive side was Orlando Brown, and going up against their defense. And then on the defense side of football was Nick Bolton.
Okay. How do you feel like Nick Bolton played?
I mean, Nick Bolton. He's look. If you talk to Patrick, as Patrick said, it was Travis Kelce. No, it's either Travis or Patrick in the locker room said that I'll take Nick Bolton over anybody.
Yeah,
that said it all.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I mean, I agree. I heard the same thing.
Yeah. So
now, my X factor was Chris Jones. Now, Chris Jones came up huge today. Again, you had, and just giving the people, if you didn't watch the game, just giving the people just a point of reference. You had Chris Jones on the left side, attacking from the defensive end spot, not the defensive tackle. You had Frank Clark and also Carlos Dunlap lined up on the right side at defensive end. So Chris Jones was able to have a solo, against the right tackle of the San Francisco 49ers. Of course, he won that battle.
Oh, of course.
And it wasn't an air experiment this season. It's more or less they're picking their battles, so to speak, to put Chris Jones at a defensive end spot.
And every time they've done it, it's paid dividends. Yeah. He's gone up with a sack. Now, something that was unique, I don't want to say unique, but it was interesting to find out, talking to Frank postgame, was that this is the first time that he matched up. He went up against Trent Williams, even though his time during the 49ers, he said that he had, either he would play or Trent was out or vice versa. And so the fact that this is the first time that he went up against him, he thought that, thought they fared well, obviously. Yeah. And then, of course, I think Trent did end up giving up a sack today. So overall, you look, and also when you look at defensively, the Chiefs getting that safety in the end zone as well. So I thought overall, like I said, I gave the team overall a B because of the first half. So I take it in its totality. But the second half, they played lights out.
Now, we heard Frank. You talked about Frank. We heard Frank say they came here what they did what they were supposed to do.
Yeah,
they beat this team twice.
Yep,
when it mattered. Because we talked in our pregame show, and if you guys don't know, we do host a pregame cheat sheet. This is pregame before every game, 1 hour before the game. So remember, like us, follow us on our respective stations, and you can catch us pregame cheat sheet. Now, Frank Clark, we talked about him.
Yeah,
we also talked about this being the game that a lot of these guys that were on that Super Bowl team against the Chiefs back in 2019, they remember that so well. And so they wanted kind of that payback game today. What did you see from those guys?
So again, we kind of like the Chiefs, what they were looking to do against Tampa Bay, and I thought the first half, San Francisco, they came out guns a blazing. I know we differed on the impact that Chris McCaffrey's going to have, and so, but I thought his addition made that team a lot more dangerous. Now, I just think that the better team overall won in today's game, but I do like his addition to the squad and what he, you get enough time underneath you. I think the addition of Christian McCaffrey along with Deebo Samuel is going to pay long dividends for the 49ers on the NFC side of football. But, it was, but at the end of the day, still got Jimmy Garoppolo, and no shade against him. I think he's still a better option than Trey Lance is at the moment, but he has some limitations, and it's like if you put pressure on him. We were watching the Super Bowl a couple of nights ago, replay of it, and when the Chiefs came after him with the pressure, he crumbles under it. And so I think somehow throughout the game or in half, Spags kind of remembered, man, I remember the Super Bowl, we pressured this guy, he was doing turnovers. That's what happened. And so, shout out to the Chiefs and the adjustments that they made. And look, we talk about it often, but, do have to give the Chiefs coaching staff credit for making the adjustments that they need to do because that first quarter, Chris McCaffrey and Samuels and their run, I mean, they were catching the Chiefs just flat-footed, and it was sitting. You thinking like you're gonna make any adjustments? They made some adjustments, and even in the third quarter, when they kind of made a little run and brought it to I think 28-23, the Chiefs, were able to dial up their pressure. And and we saw what the final score was.
Very surprising. You talked about Christian McCaffrey. Very surprising that they didn't continue on with the run game. They kind of went away from it, and it worked at the beginning of the game. Of course, the 49ers weren't able to score, even though they were successful at getting down into the red zone, and they weren't able to score. Now, I think on this NFC side of the NFL, I really believe that they're going to be the contenders because they have two guys that are able to make something happen.
And I think one other thing that kind of hurt 49ers in this game was they kept having players that go down with injuries as well. So that that's football for you. But I think overall, like I said, I think they have more upside than anything else, especially when you look. Not only I think their division will be tough, so I think they do have a chance. But when you look at the rest of the NFC, especially when you see Tom Brady and the Bucs slipping, Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, I mean, there's an opportunity for them to get multiple teams out of that division into the playoffs.
Yeah, we appreciate you guys. Steve Walls, Darren Smith, live from our post-game show inside of Levi Stadium here in Santa Clara, California. The Chiefs had defeated the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, it's a bye week now.
Oh, yeah, it is.
But we got the Red Hour, though, tomorrow night.
Make sure you guys come and check us out. The Red Hour, myself, Darren Smith, Sean Tyler, and also DJ Kill will be live from Soiree Steak and Oyster House. Come down, hang out with us. Great food, great conversation. Drink specials, everything you need to watch us and talk about the Chiefs. So, Darren, I'm ready for tomorrow, man. We got a lot to talk about.
Ready for tomorrow. We're going to the bye week. We'll be back in a couple of weeks as the Chiefs take on who do they take on?
The Chiefs come back and take on the I feel like all these games are running
together because I know they play the Titans, but I think the Titans is a different game. So it's I feel so embarrassed in a minute. Just looking at this.
It's the Titans Sunday, November 6th.
Okay, November 6th, and then we got the Jaguars as well. So, but our next road trip will be a late afternoon game in Kansas City, but it'll be 125 here. We come back to Los Angeles, SoFi Stadium. Steve Walls and I will, cover the Chiefs taking on the Los Angeles Chargers, who were big losers again today. So, Justin Herbert's not elite.
The Chiefs are going into the bye week at 5-2. I mean, it's not a better feeling. And
we know Andy Reid has a great record coming out the bye as well. So,
All right, for Steve Walls, Darren Smith, a 44-23 win for the Kansas City Chiefs inside of Levi Stadium, Santa Clara, California. Until tomorrow, we are out of here.